Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my presentation today. My name is Phạm Huyền Trang. I'm from class A, PB2K5, and my topic is about Coursbook's adaptations. About Coursbook, background is the background to the design and use of Coursbooks, principles for using a Coursbook, and classroom techniques and tasks. The first problem is about background. It is the way Coursebooks look and what the content go hand in hand with the prevailing idea that the time they were published about how languages are best taught and learned. In the 1990s, grammar translation Coursebook contained long reading passages with vocabulary, glossaries, and grammar notes in the student's mother tongue. In the 1960s and 1970s, audiolingualism focused on the spoken language. Language Coursebook used dialogues, pattern practice, and substitution drills. Behaviorist structural linguistics, English 1900. In the 1970s and 1980s, notional functional approach language were understood to be used for purposes of functions. Communication took precedence over grammar. Coursebooks began to emphasize functional language as well as pair work and group work activities. In the 1980s, the introduction of task-based language teaching, language is learned through negotiation with other learners in problem-solving or task management situations that focus on meaning rather than form, not through learning pre-specified grammar, functions, or notions. Number 2 is about principle for using a coursebook. So we can understand how the coursebook is organized. Most coursebooks are organized around key features of language. The features include topics and associated vocabulary, grammar structure, social and cultural interaction skills. Also emphasize 2 or more of the 4 skills. The first step is to explore the coursebook to see how it is organized. Tables of contents. Examining a unit gets you to know the coursebook as a whole. Number 2, adapt the materials. Coursebooks are not written for a specific group of people. They are written for a generalized target group, children or adults, beginner or advanced, ESL or EFL. No book can meet all the needs and interests of each group of learners that use it. For this reason, a coursebook must be adapted to your particular group of learners. SAS ACLA 1994 acronym as mean selecting or want to keep. A. Adapt that need to change. R. Reject want to leave out. And S. Supplement bring something new into it. 3. Prepare the learners. We found that coursebook activities usually fail not because they are too boring or too complicated, but because the learners haven't been adequately prepared to do them. Put another way, any coursebook activity can be successful as long as learners know what to do and have the ability to do it. Preparing the learner really means preparing yourself. What is the context for the activities? How can you make the content clear and interesting to the learners? What is the point of the activity? Is it work? is the focus to learn grammar? Is it to practice speaking? Is it to learn vocabulary? What are the steps involved in carrying out the activity? How can you ensure that the learners know what to do? How long will the activity take? 4. Monitor and follow up. Any activity usually has 3 patterns: preparation, implementation, and follow-up. While the students are doing an activity, you have an important role to monitor what and how well they are doing, walking around and observing. As you secure it, you can answer questions, keep track of language problems, offer helpful corrections, and make sure they are doing what they are supposed to be doing. Monitoring also helps you to see if the time limit you set was appropriate and whether it will need to be started or intended. Consider to let the students know when to stop. Small classes. Okay, time to stop. Large classes. Clapping your hands, ringing a bell. Follow up. Students can demonstrate what they have learned or ask questions about it. Pair work, dialogue, group work, group reports, etc. 5. Build a repertoire of the plays, pieces of music, etc. that a performer or group can perform. In addition to being organized around key features of the language, a coursebook generally has consistent types of activity in each unit or chapter, such as pair and group tasks, role plays, information gaps, listening tasks, and vocabulary games. A listening activity for students to listen through one to get the general idea, listen a second time, and do the task, answer questions, fill a diagram, then listen a third time and then check your answer. If you follow this format consistently, you provide some predictability for the students. They learn familiar ways to approach activities. It's also how to have a way to vary an activity once the students are familiar with the basic format. For example, students can try to do the task before the first listening as a way to create anticipation for what they will hear. Some suggestions: have students write the vocabulary words on cards and then group them in some way. Put parts of the sentences on cards so that students can put them in order and learn the grammar. Write prompts on cards for speaking and writing activity. Have students write comprehensive questions to reading passages on cards and quiz each other. 3. Classroom techniques and tasks. Survey or map the territory. Start small with a group of units or just one unit when familiarizing yourself with the table of contents. Make notes as you go through it about what you like, what you don't like, what you want to emphasize, supplement, and reject. Make a map a bit by taking apart the pieces and rearrange them in a visual way. You become familiar with what is in the book. Group prioritizing. Richard Acklom suggests the following activity: give out the books on the first day, and for homework, ask students to decide which topics or grammar areas in the book they are most interested in or concerned about. The next day, the student votes on the most relevant parts of the book, and then immediately helps the teacher to select appropriately. Personalizing means asking for or giving personal or culturally familiar information related to the material in the book. The study draws on the learner experiences and opinion and makes the material more real and accessible to the students. One example, a teacher taught times number using example in the textbook. The students were bored and inattentive. By simply asking them to use their own telephone numbers, she could have made the material more relevant and motivating. Formanship means switching to a different skill grouping than the ones proposed in the book. A really take about process to vacation to Australia can be used as a model for writing about places to vacation in our country. And one says, formanship is about supplementing through skill integration when appropriate, giving students opportunities to speak, listen, read, and write about each activity. Mistake log. One way to monitor what and how your students are doing is to keep a mistake log. Make a note of the activity and the class as you circulate. Write down the mistakes you hear. The students making mistake can be grammatical, lexical, or cultural. The mistake logs can then be used a number of ways. You can use it immediately after the activity and elicit correction from the students. If there are recurrent mistakes, you can prepare a separate lesson and use examples from the logs. The log will also show you and your student in which area they are improving because the mistakes occur less frequently. Practical English language teaching. Thank you for listening.